Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Renton Reflex. When I was a kid, I didn't get to play too many video games, though I do remember playing the original Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario World at friends' houses before, but not enough times for me to consider myself a video game enthusiast or even a Mario fan. I also got to admit, when this movie first came out in theaters, I wasn't fully aware of its existence at the time. I mean, I don't remember ever seeing the trailer, the movie poster, the TV spots, or anything like that. In hindsight, though, it was probably for the best that I didn't see it in theaters. Before I can explain what I mean by that, let me ask you this. Is it really all that easy to make a movie based on a video game that's not exactly plot-driven? The short answer? No. The long answer? Well, let's talk about the movie's plot first. A parallel dimension was created 65 million years ago from the impact of a giant meteorite. Supposedly, the same one that allegedly killed the dinosaurs. However, this dimension has allowed some of the dinosaurs to survive and eventually evolve into human form over time. In this dimension is a city known as Dino Hatton, which is run by the evil Koopa. He's depicted in this film as a human rather than as an actual Koopa like in the games. His plan is to merge this dimension and our dimension into one and de-evolve mankind. To do this, he must retrieve a piece of rock from the same meteorite 65 million years ago. This rock is worn around the neck of a female undergraduate student named Daisy, otherwise known as Princess Daisy. Two Italian plumbers from Brooklyn, named Mario and Luigi, end up getting involved in this situation and not only must try to save Daisy from her capture, but also stop Koopa from taking over the world. As the first live-action video game movie ever made, it seemed to have given the then-new movie genre a rather clumsy and faulty start. Understandably, there were some actual problems during production. Reportedly, Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, who both played the Mario brothers, actually got drunk during filming just to get through it. Honestly, I don't really blame them for that, considering the creative differences that occurred between the directors and the studio that provided funding for the movie. Not to mention the numerous rewrites to the script and how the directors allegedly acted like control freaks. From what I could gather, the directors wanted a more gritty and dark approach in a similar vein to Tim Burton's Batman and the first live-action Ninja Turtles movie, whereas the studio wanted a more kid-friendly version. In an attempt to try to mesh the two together, what results is pretty much an uneven mess, which just goes to show that you can't always have it both ways. Sometimes you can, if done in a very balanced manner, yet sometimes you just need to pick a side. If I had seen this movie in theaters as a kid, I probably would have been very confused in how it established certain characters and ideas, even though I didn't get to play too many Mario games at the time. I also probably would have pointed out how awkward some of the dialogue is, how its direction's not quite as engaging, and how there are a few moments that could be seen as kind of senseless or stupid. But despite this movie's faults, I can't be too harsh towards it, as I've come to find that it had developed quite a cult following over the years, even to the point that some people may find it to be a guilty pleasure for them, and not just because they grew up with the Mario games. The more I thought about it, the more I considered the possibility that at the time this movie was made, there was an adventurous spirit in Hollywood when they were trying something new. In this case, making a live-action movie based on a video game. I do ought to give this film credit for some of the effort put into the special effects, the set designs, and the puppetry that was used in the film. And it did look as though much of the cast and crew did their best with what they had, even after going through a nightmarish production. Overall, I might consider this film as a learning experience. Not so much on how not to make a video game movie, but more for how it comes to exploring new territory in the world of filmmaking. It may be bad and did not get everything right in terms of translation, yet there are still certain aspects to it that could be seen as rather admirable. That's enough reason for me to call this video game movie a one-of-a-kind cult classic. in its own right. If I were to rate the film on a scale between 1 and 10, I'd give it a 3.5. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes my review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.